Lake Forest 78, Fountain Valley 71, Marina Del Rey 67, Manhattan Beach 68 degrees. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Michael Crozier.
KFI AM at 640, Conway Show. Oh, yeah. We're all here together, right? It's been almost exactly 20 years. Well, 16 years, almost to the day that we had Katrina. Then we have this another stupid hurricane that came up short yesterday. And then 4 years before that was 9/11. And there are a lot of people who work here at KFI who really don't have a memory of that because they're young. Like Morgan, who's in for Bellio tonight. And don't give me the, don't ask a girl her age kind of crap thing. I don't do that. How old are you?
I'm 27.
27.
Yes.
Okay, so you're very proud of that.
Oh.
So you really don't have any kind of memory of 9/11.
I have a very vague memory of being picked up from school.
Is that right?
And like the car ride home.
So you were picked up very early in the morning then, soon after you were dropped off.
Yeah, and I also went to a Montessori school, so it's a little bit different type of schooling.
Ah.
So I think they were just like, y'all can get your kids now.
Right.
So I remember the car ride home, and then I remember how depressed my dad was afterwards. But that's really all I know until I got older and learned about what happened.
Your dad said something. I remember you said something when you first started working when you were driving home in your dad's car. You said something like, "Wow, this is about the same size as the bus that picks me up."
Yeah.
That's kind of odd.
Well, I mean,
It was kind of a short bus or something you take in the morning. I don't know what's going on with you.
The size doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The bus.
All right. Anyway, so you were 6 when this happened.
Yeah, was I?
Wow.
That's good math. Yes, I was.
6 years old, or 6 or 7 maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
7, right? Maybe 7 years old. And at 7, you're not really aware of anything. So I'm sure your mom and dad didn't sit you down every 20 minutes saying, "Oh, look, the Challenger blew up. There was an earthquake. There was this." I remember there was somebody in local radio, and I'm not going to name him or her because I don't like to do that, right? That's not true. I love doing that. But I thought maybe I'll get in trouble, so I don't do it. But there's one guy who used to say, whenever there's a natural disaster or like a hurricane or something, or there was a terrorist attack or an earthquake, whatever it was, right? And a lot of people died. There was one guy on radio who had, I don't know, like a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. And he'd always say, "I don't know how I'm going to tell my children." And I thought to myself, why are you going to? Right? Why did you tell your 5-year-old or your 7-year-old that people flew into the World Trade Center and knocked it down and killed thousands of people? Right? You're supposed to be there and extend your job as a parent. Well, you got a lot of jobs, but one of them is to extend your child's childhood, right? To extend that, right? A nice Christmas, a nice Hanukkah, a nice Kwanzaa, the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, you know what I mean, right? Extend that childhood. Because once that childhood is over, and sometimes it ends pretty abruptly, right? But once that childhood is over, then they've got nothing but reality. And reality sinks in, and reality sucks, right? That's why there's liquor, that's why there's booze and pills and food, right? We all have a vice that we turn to for in reality when we're getting a little too tired of reality, right? And it's tough to be in reality 24 hours a day. It really, really, truly is. That's why a guy at the end, in the old days, guys used to go out for that 2-martini lunch, and almost every single day have 2 or 3 martinis at lunch. I don't know how they did that. Big steaks and martinis at lunch every day. It sounds great, but I don't know how you go back to work.
It totally does.
Yeah, but how do you go back to work?
Yeah, right, exactly. Who cares?
You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's why all the work was done before noon.
That's right, yeah. And by the way, a lot of the work was done at lunch.
Yeah.
You see another guy there, he was having a martini, he told you a funny story, like, "Hey, I'll buy my paper, my 2x4s from that guy."
There you go.
Right? Doesn't matter. But that's where a lot of, here's a story that's interesting. A friend of mine worked for NBC, right? And she was a young intern. She was like 18 or 19. And she was just working in the mailroom, and she had a really crappy job. She got there at 6 in the morning, probably left at 8 o'clock at night for, $200 a week, living in Manhattan. You can't do that, right? So she's living with her parents and having to work these long-ass hours. And she wasn't really moving up. After 6 months, she was still in the same exact place. After a year, 2 years, the exact same place. And she wasn't getting given a lot of opportunities because she didn't meet anybody, right? She didn't know how to network. She didn't know how to meet anybody. So what she remembered, though, is every time she went to lunch, when she came back, the CEO of NBC, the COO, the CFO, all the big board members are all outside smoking cigarettes, right? And she passed them by every single day. The main guys, the chairman of the board that ran NBC Universal, I think back then it was GE, right? Was outside with his buddies all smoking cigarettes. So what did she do? She started smoking, right? She'd never smoked a cigarette in her life, never had a desire to smoke. Her mom smoked, she hated it, but she thought, the guys who are all making the decisions in this company are all outside smoking cigarettes between, 1 and 2 p.m. And she picked up smoking. Literally 6 months later, she had this, office with a window and a pretty cush job upstairs because she was enjoyable. She had a great sense of humor. She had great enthusiasm. And she was outside smoking with the fellas, right? So maybe it's not always about the degree on the wall. You know what I mean?
Are you saying I should pick up smoking?
It might be too late. Right? I don't think executives are doing that anymore.
Dang.
But that's back in the old days when you could do that.
And the argument still exists that the important hires in any company, it's not necessarily what, like you said, what you got on your wall. It's the people that hiring you, whether or not they think they can handle being around you. I mean, that's Hollywood in a nutshell too. Right. They're always the best and most talented people. It's the people that, hey, I got to hang with this guy for 2 months while we're filming. Yeah, no.
That's 100% right. Well, look, I mean, Jeopardy's a great example then. They looked forever for a host, and then they went, these are all celebrity idiots. Why don't we just go with the guy who's the executive producer? Yeah. But we all like him, we enjoy him, he gets along with everybody. Just pull that guy in. But wait a minute. 20 years ago, he said something about boobies. Oh, he's gone, right? Yeah, how dare him, right? He's out of here. But anyway, kids listening today, right? Kids. It ain't always about the degree on the wall, right? It's about, getting to know the right people and not being a huge a-hole also helps. All right, we're live on KFI AM 640. More now, crowd!
Evacuations have been ordered for South Lake Tahoe and up its western shoreline because of a wildfire that's burned more than 177,000 acres. The U.S. has completed its withdrawal from Afghanistan. More than 2,400 American lives were lost during the 20-year war. And the European Union is recommending new travel restrictions from the U.S. because of rising COVID-19 cases here. We'll check the 605 freeway coming up.
All right, you heard me talk about my friends at Sunday, right? And they can help you sell your home fast with no repairs, without the hassle of dealing with showings, realtors, cleaning, or making upgrades. Sunday. Remember those old commercials in the 70s? Sunday. Meet with the 55, the 405, explode! Well, this is not that. But it reminds you of the name of the company, right? Sundae, SUNDAE.com. They're going to come by your house, take photos, do a 3D walkthrough, and then package all the information up and send it off to their investors in their database. And over the next week, the average homeowner gets 12 offers in their property. Look, I understand you want to get out, right? Out of California. I totally get it. Or maybe out of at least LA or LA County. And you want to do it quick. You want to sit around and do repairs and have some moron come through your house and go, ooh, who picked out those carpets? Doesn't match the drape. You want to strangle something like that, right? You don't have to deal with that with Sunday. They can also give you a $20,000 cash advance when you sell with Sunday. All right, enough information. Now time to make the call. 800-25-OFFER. 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 Call Sunday or go to the website, SUNDAE.com. Sunday's a California license plate real estate broker. DRE license number 0208828.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
Julio Urias is on the hill for the Dodgers tonight in their series opener against the Braves. Walker Buehler is tomorrow's scheduled starter with Max Scherzer slated for Wednesday. As for the Angels, it's Mike Myers on the hill in the first game of their series against the New York Yankees. And New Orleans Saints owner Gail Benson has made a donation of $1 million for relief efforts in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. The team also reports that Caesars Superdome suffered no significant damage. I'm J.D. Hafford.
Staples Connect has amazing prices for your back-to-school list. Staples one-subject notebooks are only 25 cents each, and Crayola 24-count crayons, 2-pocket poly folders, and 4-ounce Elmer's glue are just 50 cents each. Offer ends 9/18. Notebooks in-store only. Limit 30. Prices may vary online.
Check a crash in Norwalk.
This one's on the 605 northbound, just past the 105 freeway. At last check, 2 left lanes are blocked and delays. Well, they're backing up almost from the 91 freeway. Beyond the scene of the crash, that drive remains pretty slow moving ahead as you make your way towards Beverly Boulevard. Also checking out the drive along the 5 southbound. Delays out of Burbank from Olive. It's heavy to the 134, slowing down even more as you make your way towards the 605. And in Corona, the 15 southbound, that's backing up away from Magnolia Avenue towards Wyrick Road. The northbound side of the 15 kind of crowded through Corona in stretches from the 60 to Foothill Boulevard. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
This report is sponsored by the Auto Club of Southern California. Are you paying too much for auto insurance? Visit AAA.com/insurance for a free quote and find out how much you could save. Find competitive rates on auto insurance through the Auto Club. Visit AAA.com/insurance today.
Attention homeowners, Interactive Mortgage has dropped rates again to a rock bottom 1.75% rate in APR. Yes, it's incredible. A rock bottom 1.75%. And if that's not enough, Interactive Mortgage will even pay your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. That's right, no points and no fees. Absolutely zero. Zilch. None. So what are you waiting for? Call now and take advantage of these never-before-offered rates. A 1.75% rate in APR with no fees whatsoever. Call Interactive Mortgage now at 844-371-CASH. That's 844-371-CASH. 844-371-2274. Or visit interactivemortgage.com.
Win Point Corporation, DBA Interactive Mortgage, Equal Housing List, Terms and Conditions apply. New client owns loan amount $350,000 to $548,206, minimum FICO of 740, and maximum LTV of 60%. All loans subject to underwriting approval, and not all applicants will qualify. Loans made or arranged pursuant to California Finance Law License number 603F938, NMLS number 302352.
Arco Gas optimizes fuel economy so you can stay on the road longer. Don't worry, Arco will miss you too. Arco, quality top-tier gas for less. See Arco.com for details.
Summertime tips from Paul, Kristen, and Dexter at Total Wine and More. Topping your burger with grilled onions and blue cheese? Take it to the next level with Carbon Cabernet Reserve, rated 92 points, an incredible value.
And nothing beats a buttery Chardonnay with grilled corn on the top.
Feeling adventurous? Come on in. Let's try Smoky Mezcal for mind-blowing margaritas. Now you can order delivery for as low as $4.99 for a limited time. Find out if your area qualifies at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, B21. Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed senses and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. Save 50% on the new Sleep Number 360 limited edition Smart Bed, plus special financing. Ends Monday. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Did you miss the truck rally last weekend? Every major cable news channel refused to carry it except for Newsmax. Over 5 million Americans tuned into Newsmax to watch the rally. Newsmax is now the fastest growing cable news channel in America. The place for real news you can trust. Newsmax is on all the major cable systems. If your system doesn't carry it, call them. Tell them you want it. Newsmax also streams free on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and on apps like Roku, Amazon Fire, Zumo, Pluto, and more. 7 million people have the Newsmax app on their smartphone. You'll love the Newsmax app. It takes seconds to download it on your phone, and there's no paywall or subscription. So here's what you do. You watch Newsmax for breaking news, and find out why tens of millions of Americans are tuning into Newsmax TV, and going to Newsmax.com for breaking news. Watch Newsmax TV today.
A lot of people have this belief, oh, I'm helping the environment sending these electronics to a Goodwill store. Unless it's working, they're going to take it to the landfill also.
Now I know why you wanted to do this story. Because you want to hang on to your junk.
Right, I'm
Because
nostalgic.
you're a little bit of a hoarder.
No, I'm nostalgic.
Nostalgic.
Gary and Shannon.
That's where I am.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KFI.
KFI AM at 640. Conway Show. Steve Gregory's coming on with us at 6:30.
At least that's what it says in the schedule.
He's coming in studio, right? Hope he's got a mask on and he's vaccinated.
Hey, I'm going to go get a snack from the kitchen. You want anything?
We're on the air.
Did we just have a break?
Yeah. We're also on the air.
So, nobody wants anything?
Oh, no, wait, you.
Cozy?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good, thanks, Ward. All right, you know, in World War I, the Allied powers defeated the German Empire, the Austrian-Hungary, I believe the Ottoman Empire, Bulgaria. I think that about wraps it up, right? World War I. I'm not. I know I come off as a World War I, you know, power, specialist, a know-it-all. I'm not really. It just seems like it. But the Allied powers, I mean, the French, the British, you know, the Russians were on our side in World War I. So was Belgium, Italy, Romania, Portugal, and we went and we kicked ass, right, in World War I, and won. And then World War II pops up, right? We got to go back and do it again. And World War II was a little more difficult, right, because we had Adolf Hitler and had to, you know, whip his ass, and the Germans, and then you had the Japanese, and we had to whip their ass as well. And we did. And I think the Italians, right? I think the Italians were also in on the main axis of evil. But the United States did it, you know, behind Franklin Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, you may have heard that name, right, with the Brits, Joseph Stalin, and I believe the Chinese were on our side on that one. And we won those, right? World War I, World War II, we were kicking ass, right? And then we changed the War Department to the Defense Department. Yeah, it hasn't been so good since, right? So this is a big day, though, in American history. We are out of Afghanistan. Not chalking it up as a win. It certainly smells like a loss, doesn't it? But we're out. We're out of Afghanistan. No more. We're not going to. Well, we may go back. Who knows? But for right now, the United States, that 20-year war, I think it started in early October of 2001. I don't have the exact date. Late September, early October. And it's over.
Breaking news, the longest war in American history, now officially over. Every single U.S. service member out of Afghanistan. You heard it right here on Channel 7 just a few minutes ago. The last C-17 plane took off from Kabul Airport about 90 minutes ago, marking the U.S. military's complete withdrawal from the country. Sandra Bookman in the newsroom with all the late-breaking details. Sandra.
Yeah, David, we certainly had all been focused on the 31st, August 31st, the deadline. So this was an unexpectedly swift end to America's longest war. The announcement that all U.S. forces were out of Afghanistan came from Marine Corps General Kenneth McKenzie, head of U.S. Central Command. He revealed that the evacuation act...
How about being on that last flight out, right? A little nervous and nerve-wracking. Being on the last plane, the last C-130, wherever it was, you know, leaving Afghanistan. I'm sure there's some coverage, right? Either, Black Hawk helicopters or F-18s. It must have been some.
They keep showing a C-130 that's taken off. I saw, or C-17, I'm not sure, but yeah,
right.
They keep showing one taken off from an airport, assuming that's the last one. But there's actually even footage of like a night shot footage of a soldier that's supposed to be the very last.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure there was some coverage, right? I'm sure there was some F-16s or F-18s flying around. If they ever ran into problems, you know, those guys could respond pretty quickly. Yeah. But those guys were probably flying high where you couldn't see them or hear them. But that last flight out, the last guy out, the last pilot out of Afghanistan, it happened at 3:29 p.m. their time, which is 3:29 a.m. Oh, that's so weird. That's so bizarre. I got up last night and I noticed the clock said 3:29. Isn't that weird? You know, when you wake up at night, you look at the clock and you always remember like what time. And I was up from 3:29 till 7:30. Right? I couldn't sleep. Right? Either one's fine. But I couldn't sleep, and maybe there was something to that, right? Maybe like deep down inside, I thought, wow, our last guys and gals are getting out of there. Yeah, look, we're
all connected.
If they're going to be up, I'm going to be up.
There you go.
Right? I'm going to do my job, right?
Being awake.
12 hours before that final U.S. flight took off. And that final American plane lifted off from Kabul's airport at 3:29 Eastern Time, ending the mission to evacuate Americans, Afghans, and any other third-party nationals.
Tonight's withdrawal signifies both the end of the military component of the evacuation, but also the end of the nearly 20-year mission that began in Afghanistan shortly after September 11, 2001. It's a mission that brought Osama bin Laden to a just end, along with many of his al-Qaeda co-conspirators. And it was not a cheap mission. The cost was 2,461 U.S. service members and civilians killed, and more than 20,000 who were injured. Sadly, that includes 13 U.S. service members who were killed last week by an ISIS-K suicide bomber. We honor their sacrifice today as we remember their heroic accomplishments.
Yeah, and what, look, I know it was awfully sad for a lot of families, but man, did those cities, little towns get together and really help those parents and the brothers and sisters, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa out. I saw that tribute in Norco and also in, there was another one in the Midwest. I think it was, I'm going to have to say Kansas. I don't remember where it was, but I remember watching these people show up with flags and the local high school cheerleaders show up. The football team, shows up. It seemed like everybody in Norco was there, to help the family of these fallen servicemen and women. And man, that has got to be a great feeling for those parents. They're going to need a lot of support. And initially, they're the U.S. citizens. They do show up, and you're going to see it in great numbers as these the funerals start to happen. Once I believe that the bodies and the caskets have already been released by the federal government. And once you see these local funerals, especially here in Southern California, and the outpouring of people that want to be there and show their support is so moving to watch on TV. I can't imagine if you're a family member and not feeling so proud of your kids, man. It's look, if you can take the day off, or if there's any kind of celebration, even writing a note or even posting something online, but just to see the number of people who support these kids is terrific. And I watched it all weekend long. It was great. So keep up the good work. Let these families know that you're there for them, because they need all of our help right now. All right, we'll talk to Steve Gregg when we come back. We're live on KFI. More now, Trojan.
Third woman's been sexually assaulted while walking on a hiking trail in Aliso Viejo. OC Sheriff Sergeant Todd Hilton says the woman was grabbed from behind and dragged into some bushes.
The details of the incident were very similar to two other cases that we had in early 2020. At this point, we have increased patrol checks in the area.
It says the woman lost consciousness Saturday morning and couldn't remember anything. He says cops are working to match DNA from the other two incidents with DNA from the third attack. The sketch of the guy is up at KFIAM640.com. A prisoner escaped in L.A. He walked away from the Male Community Reentry Program facility and was discovered missing last night. The man's Latino, 5'6", weighs 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was wearing a gray shirt and gray shorts. He was serving a 4-year sentence for car theft. He was scheduled to be released in October. Pentagon officials say more than 123,000 people, including 6,000 Americans, have been flown out of Afghanistan since the country fell to the Taliban earlier this month.
U.S. military troops have shown tremendous bravery and compassion as they put themselves in harm's way to evacuate as many American citizens and Afghans as possible during this operation.
Army Major General Hank Taylor says almost 4,000 people expected to fly out today were scheduled to go to either D.C. or Philadelphia. One of reggae's founding fathers has died. Lee Scratch Perry was a singer, but was better known for producing more than 1,000 songs. He worked with musicians including Bob Marley and Wailers. Perry died yesterday in Jamaica. He was 85. Checker crash in Santa Clarita.
This is on the just past the 5 North connector to the 14 North, right there at the top of the connector. That's a crash. Very low on details from the Highway Patrol. In fact, waiting for some more information from them. But a lot of people have been calling saying, what's going on? We're hardly moving here. And that's for both. What's going on? It's for both.
We're moving here.
What, really? Where are you? Mostly on the 5 northbound, the truck lanes are also slow, so it may be affecting the truck lanes, or the crash is right at the end where the truck lanes merge onto the main flow. So watch out, it's backing both of them up, and you're solid away from the 210. Pound 250, keyword KFI traffic if you're stuck in the backup. Now also, you're still moving in West LA on the 405 northbound away from Sunset Boulevard all the way to Nordoff and North Hills. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Inka Martinez.
All right, let's talk about your eyes, right? Something that's very important to see beautifully again. And nobody does it better than Saddleback. I went a couple years ago, and I can still see clearly across the room. And I can see that thermostat over there. It's 73 degrees in here. And I couldn't tell you the difference between that thermostat and that light switch before. It was all blurry to me. But this Dr. Manger is the best, right? John from the John and Ken show turned me on to Dr. Manger. He came into my office one day, John did, and said, why do you have 9 pair of glasses on your desk? And I said, I don't know. He goes, call my guy, Dr. Manger, slide in there, and enough with these glasses. And I did. I went in, I got the laser light LASIK exam, and I'm going to give that to you for free, and you can go get your eyes tested. Look, it's a great time to do it, right? You got Halloween coming up, then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and you want to be able to see the kids and the grandkids, right? Enough with the glasses and the contacts. Please call my guy. Measure your eyes over 1,000 times, especially important for people nearsighted or farsighted. It's a free laser light LASIK exam. It's absolutely free. It's beautiful equipment, state-of-the-art, and Dr. Manger has those big, solid hands, right? That's exactly what you want from the doctor. So phone them up. First 14 callers get the new or free laser light LASIK exam right now. Here we go. 866-559-4444. 866-559-4444. 866-559-4444.
Some clouds and some fog moving in tonight. Lows in the mid-60s. All clear again tomorrow by midday. Couple degrees cooler Wednesday, and then kind of a touch through the weekend. We leave local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Michael Crozier.
Rates subject to change without notice. Minimum loan amount requirements apply. 50% loan to value and 740 FICO credit score. Certain restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval. NMLS 3290. Loans made or arranged pursuant to a California Finance Lenders Law license number 6036970. Equal housing lender.
Unbelievable. Home loan rates have dropped again at IntelliLoan. Today, IntelliLoan is offering a 1.875% rate in the APR with no points and no lender fees. Did you hear that? A 1.875%. Don't think you qualify? I bet you haven't called IntelliLoan. You don't have to have perfect credit to get this great home loan. So lock in this unbelievably low 1.875% fixed rate in APR with no points and no lender fees. So call IntelliLoan before the rates go up. Call them at 1-800-918-6200. That's 1-800-918-6200. Or just go to IntelliLoan.com.
IntelliLoan. Borrow smart.
Income-eligible renters who have been impacted by COVID-19 can now get 100% of their rent and utilities paid by the state of California through the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program. Assistance from the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program does not count as earned income for renters and will not interfere with eligibility for any other state benefit assistance programs such as CalFresh or CalWorks. Landlords with tenants who have been unable to pay their rent because of COVID-19 are also eligible for 100% reimbursement and are encouraged to apply. The application is fast. Information will be kept private and you won't be asked about citizenship. To check eligibility and apply, visit housingiskey.com or call 833-430-2122.
Income-eligible renters and landlords who've been impacted by COVID-19 can now get 100% of their past due rent or utility bills paid through the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program. Apply at housingiskey.com before eviction protections end on September 30th. Brought to you by the California Department of Housing and Community Development.
Call Service Champions for their $88 professional AC tune-up at 833-777-7777.
Live and local.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI AM 640 Conway Show. Last night, I guess, was some kind of hit on this station. I got texts, I got emails, I got calls saying that I remind them of the old Daryl Gates hour. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Gregory. How you, Bob?
What's up, pal?
Hey, so the sheriff knocked it out last night.
Yeah,
right?
you know what? I think people were pleasantly surprised and didn't really know what was going to happen with him. For those that don't know, Alex Villanueva, the sheriff of LA County, was invited to fill in for 2 hours last night. And
I heard that's going to be a regular thing every week, every Sunday for 2 hours.
At the end of the show, he was invited back.
Really?
Yeah. So
by whom?
By Robin Berlucci. She called and went on speakerphone. And said,
let's start here.
Yeah, you did.
I did not.
You
did call and say you want to come back
your first time?
No way!
She didn't call?
No, a couple days later, it's like...
your reputation preceded you.
I called her a couple days... it's actually a good story. So I came in after I was fired by KLSX, fired by KBC, and this was the only... this was the last game before, Phoenix or, Chattanooga or whatever. So... I filled in on a Saturday for a couple hours for somebody, and then I thought, maybe, Rob would call and say, hey, good job, or you need to do this, this, or this. You can call, right? So I called her on Tuesday, and I said, hey, Rob, it's, Conway, Tim Conway Jr. And she goes, I'm still working to get you to fill it. I'm like, I filled in Saturday. She goes, oh, you did? How great is that? Is that true?
That's not true.
That's a true story.
Now, was that the Saturday?
No, that's not the Saturday you and I worked together.
Oh, that's the first Saturday we worked together.
The first Saturday you and I worked together was that crazy guy...
The porn star that jumped off the cliff.
Right, and killed another guy with a sword or something.
Earlier in the week, that's why the SWAT team was trying to... In fact, Elliot
was with you.
Yeah.
You guys were an item or something, or...
Well, what happens is she, for better or worse, she attracts the best bad news.
Wow.
If you think about it. No, for a news guy, it was brilliant. She and I were having lunch in Century City. I get a call from the newsroom and says, hey, that murder suspect, that porn actor murder suspect, is surrounded by SWAT up in North Hill.
Wow, I didn't know him.
I looked at Sharon and I said, grab your corned beef, let's go. We got to roll. And so we head up to North Hills and we get up there, and there's the LAPD SWAT surrounding them. It's like right out of a movie.
No. You certainly have a way with chicks, man. Grab your corned beef, let's go. What a stud.
And then the last time we were at a restaurant is when the car chase guy went through.
Oh, yeah. What's drugs? What is drugs?
What is drugs?
All right, so Alex Villanueva last night.
Yeah,
knocked it out.
He did 2 hours on his own. I was sitting there in case it went off the rails.
And it didn't.
I never, not one word did I say on the air.
Wow, that's hard to do.
For me or him?
For him. So, I mean, for a guy who's never done that before.
No, he was perfectly comfortable. And you know what? Here's the odd thing. The man takes direction very well. I would say this, that, or the other, and say, you do this and read this after this. He's like, okay, no problem.
That's great.
And he just filmed.
Did he come with security?
Yeah. It was funny because Jacob Gonzalez and I went to grab a bite because Jacob had to help last night, and so we did grab a bite, and all of a sudden my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. He says, Mr. Gregory, this is blah, 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 the sheriff Villanueva, his security detail. And I was like, oh. He goes, I'm at the building now. Where are you? I said, I just wrapped up dinner, but I'll be there in just a second. So I'm like, code 3.
I'm at your building.
Yeah, I'm at your building.
So you got here early.
So the first guy, advanced team.
What time?
Let's see, the call time was 7:30 for the sheriff, and this guy was here like 10 to 7.
That's cool. All right.
Yeah, so, thankfully I was headed back, but I did speed it up a bit.
I heard just about a half hour, but what other topics did he cover? There were a lot of people calling, right?
Yeah, the phone lines were packed the whole night. They were just,
lucky.
Misty screen calls, because that was a tough job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you got some people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mystically.
It was pretty crazy. Here's an interesting one. Russ, play cut number 2.
All right, cut 2. Here we go. Russ is in the gate. Flag is up.
Going to the homeless itself. Why is this near and dear to me? Well, in my youth, when I transitioned from the Air Force to Cal Poly, for a whole week I was homeless.
Wow.
I actually stayed at a local YMCA in Pomona. Finally found a room a lady was renting near Cal Poly Pomona, and so leaving active duty in a full-time job, going back to school, and all of a sudden you're at the whims of all the challenges that students face in the economy. Not easy. and I always had my mind, okay, got to go back to school, got to get another job, but the uncertainty of it can put a lot of stress in your life. So I can definitely sympathize and empathize with those who are experiencing homelessness.
Wow. You know what comes to mind is that Crozier could be the next sheriff, right? He had a similar past.
With Cal Poly Pomona?
No, he was homeless. He was homeless for a while.
Lived in my car when I first got out here, about 5 months.
Oh, I think it's like Shannon pointed out today. We've all lived in our car at one time or another in our lives.
5 months?
Well, 5 months ain't a long time.
I think the only time I lived in my car is when we went to Palm Springs for spring break, and we got kicked out of our hotel for jumping off the roof into the pool. So we had to sleep in our car for a couple of months.
I've spent quite a few nights in my truck, but it was always work-related.
Yeah, I think this could be a hit. You know, remember when Chief Gates was here? That was a huge hit for the station.
And do you remember when Eric Leonard used to work here, he used to co-host with John Douglas. And Crow, do you remember John Douglas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And he's the guy that,
with Gates?
No. Gates was gone by then.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I think Gates had already passed away.
Right.
And then, but John Douglas was the profiler, one of the original profilers for the FBI.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, he's the one the Netflix series is loosely based on.
All right.
And then the